Hello everyone and welcome to our channel. This is Heather from Special Education Matters, and today we're going to discuss the top 5 things that you can do when transitioning your child with an IEP or 504 plan from summer into the new school year. So let's get started. So the end of summer is here and your children are getting ready to go back to school. New teachers, new friends, new service providers, that's all good stuff. But you're concerned because your child has a learning difference, and will this new team know how to work with your child effectively? So that's where step number 1 comes into place. Send your child's team an email prior to the beginning of school. State there are things that your child does well, any needs that they have, what accommodations have worked well for your child in the past. I would also document the services your child receives. So if your child receives 30 minutes a week of occupational therapy and 60 minutes a week with a special education teacher, put that in there. Then I would attach my child's IEP to that email, and just so that you know that they've had a copy of that IEP prior to the beginning of school, and they have plenty of time to read it so that it can be implemented on day 1 of school. Tip number 2, schedule an IEP meeting no later than 1 month into the school year. At this point, everybody's had a copy of your child's IEP, they've been implementing it, working with your child, and they can discuss progress and look at things that really aren't working or maybe accommodations that need to be added. If your child is in grades 7 through 12, invite that student to the IEP meeting. They have a great input on their plan, and they can discuss anything that's working well for them in the classroom and things that really aren't, and how they can be changed. They can also ask their teachers at the time things that they just don't know, like where do I pass my homework and where is it posted on your website. Any questions like that can be taken care of right at the beginning of the school year. That way, not too much time has passed. There's nothing worse than having an accommodation in a plan that's not being implemented because it's been overlooked, and to be negatively affecting your child. Like they have extra time on tests and then they're not given the extra time on tests and they're failing assessments. So catch it quick because there's only 180 school days in a school year. Tip number 3, get a copy of your child's schedule and check to make sure that the services that are outlined in the IEP are in that schedule. Also, make sure that your child isn't being pulled out of class during a time when they need to be in class to receive services. So if your child has a reading disability and your child's being pulled out during the reading block to receive occupational therapy, you might want to call a team meeting or email the occupational therapist to see if you can make a change there. Because our children need to be in class to receive high quality instruction from the providers that provide that. And the timeliness of instruction as well as the quality of instruction are what make our children have the most success with their plans and with their education. Tip number 4. Have a conversation with your child within the first 2 weeks of school to just talk about how school's going. How are your services coming along? Have you met with your speech pathologist? How's it going with your case manager, your special ed teacher? If your child says, "Oh, Mom, things are going great. I'm working well with my team. These services are really helping me in the classroom," that's great. That's what we want to hear. But if your child says, "I've never had a speech service and I don't even know who my case manager is," that's a problem. Call an IEP team meeting immediately and find out what's happening. If your child is receiving these services and they have it documented that they've seen your child and what services they provided, then we just need to reacquaint your child with those service providers so they know exactly who they're seeing. Hey, let's face it, grades 7 through 12, you're seeing 7 to 10 people possibly a day or a week, and you just might forget who you're seeing, especially in the beginning of the school year. But if they're not receiving services, request that those services be implemented immediately and have the number of services that you know your child has missed. So if your child has missed 4 sessions of speech and language services, or 2 hours of case management services, special education in the classroom, or pulled out of classroom, request that all of those services be provided and ask when they would be provided to your child. Finally, we're at tip number 5. Just send your team a follow-up email to the first email you sent about a month or month and a half into school, talking about what's going well for your child and what things are still kind of a hiccup, that they don't know how to access a certain teacher on Canvas or whatever electronic platform that they're using, or they just don't know where to turn their homework in. Any little things that are hanging that your child's still struggling with, put that in the email so that can be addressed at the beginning of the school year. Any concerns or complaints that you have, Make sure that you document them in the email, because if these things keep happening in the next month and the next month, and you're following up with emails and things aren't happening, I would definitely call a team meeting and say, these things have been a problem for 3 months now and they haven't been addressed. Let's get to it. Also, it's a great time to talk about things that are going well. Talk about your child's successes in history or math, or how they're really enjoying any extracurricular activities at school. And give the team an easy way to contact you. An email address, a phone number, anything that they can easily contact you. Keep the lines of communication open so that your child can have the most successful school year that they can. So there you have it, the 5 tips and tricks to help your child transition from summer into the new school year. Let's recap them. Number 1, send an email attaching your child's IEP. Number 2, schedule an IEP team meeting to talk about transition and progress. Number 3, request a copy of your child's schedule and make sure the services that are outlined in the IEP are listed in the schedule. Number 4, talk to your child. How are things going? Have you met these people? How are your accommodations working? And number 5, send a follow-up email discussing any concerns that you have thus far, things that aren't happening, things that are going great, and an easy way to contact you for future communication throughout the school year. This is Heather from Special Education Matters signing off. If you have any educational or special education advocacy consulting needs, please contact us. We can be found on the web at www.specialeducationmatters.com and on Facebook. Also, if you thought these tips and tricks were helpful for you, please hit the like button and subscribe below. And if you have any comments, questions, or any other videos, topics that you'd like to hear from us on, please list them below in the comment section and I'd be happy to create videos on them as well. Remember, your child's education matters and we are here to help.